Yo, 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 it is K Capri KD, the mentor, the mentee, back with another episode of the Wealthy and Healthy podcast. Um, you know, just diving right in. I want to talk about why I opened a business before 21, being young, going on 21, going on 22, just trying to navigate through entrepreneurship and just, not only come up, but taking the people that, are supposed to come with me and just coming up, right? So, it took me like 21 years to get to a place where, people are still trying to navigate to entrepreneurship, right? Business ownership, passive income. Most people don't think about this and make this type of shift till their late 30s, 40s, right? The average millionaire pool is in the 60s, early 60s, 70s. The average age of a first time business owner is 39 to 45. Why though, right? Like these are the type of questions you got to start asking, right? Just starting to think about how you came up, thinking about why you never had, these type of conversations growing up, right? We never had any conversation about financial literacy growing up. And, just why haven't we been educated about financing, debts, savings, investments, all that type of stuff, right? So, like, I was in those shoes when, I was a B plus student, right? And I wanted to go to college when I was young. But, as I kept going and going through school, I just felt dumber, right? I felt like, I was descending my education, it was just everything was just starting to hit that rock, that, rock in a hard place. And, I met a lot of people during my school years, right? Had a lot of life altering experiences, right? But I was never educated how to navigate through life, right? You always learn about, we learn about just really like just things that we're never going to need to know. Like we always learn about Columbus Day, or we're worried about the the books about shit that doesn't matter, right? So, and don't get me wrong, like just parents send their kids to school to learn how to read, write, and count, right? But who's showing us what to read, right? Why we should learn how to write, and what the importance of reading, the importance of knowing what to count, where to put your money. That's why we have to work up and scrape, um, just scrape up a few bands over 10 or 20 years and say we can start a small business, right? That's where that foundation is built. Like when we're in school, we're not taught how to save money. We're not taught about how to get a credit card, but we're expected to have a car and, to have everything figured out by 18 and be out of our parents' house, right? It's crazy to me. So just most entrepreneurs, most young entrepreneurs I see have rich parents, right? Or successful parents, and they wanted to, just give their kids the literacy none of us had, growing up. You always want to give your kids or the people coming after you, your community, you want to give them the things that you never had growing up so that they don't have to go through the things that you went through, just trying to make it, right? So, you know, every time I see like a young entrepreneur, young business owner, either they coming out the mud, they trying to, navigate by themselves in a world that they've never been in, right? Or I see young entrepreneurs who have a business that was given to them from their family or parents, whatever the case may be. But like as they wanted to give their kids the literacy that they never had, but not to say we didn't have these resources, right? We just didn't have access to them. But why though? And they weren't just sitting under a rock somewhere, right? They weren't gate kept, they weren't miles and miles away from us. We as young adults, we're stagnant, we're comfortable, right? We're okay with just getting that car and then having small goals, but only to be able to work for just work for essentials, right? You're never able to work for things that you want, right? So like I said, we become stagnant, comfortable, right? Everything about our teenagers is graduate high school, get your first car, quinceañeras, proms, basketball games, and video games, right? The motto of life has been use your early years to be young and dumb, have fun, and then work it the rest of your life. Excuse my French, but that's bullshit, right? This is crazy to me, like how our lives have, like we've been, like our whole lives we've been trained to be consumers, right? Consumers of content, fast food, video games, time clocks. We have to learn how to be sellers, right? So that's like one thing I want to just burn into everyone's brain, right? Learn how to be a seller, right? So, put your visionary glasses on, right? Put your selling glasses on, right? What if you work, your young years, skip a few birthday parties, a few Christmas gifts on people who really don't hold no weight in your life anyway, right? We can skip a few Netflix and chill nights, swap those out with a few research sessions, right? Saving money and investing into your financial literacy, your financial growth, right? Your gain, right? Opening a business that gets you money in your sleep, right? The last episode was focused on, why you should be focused on passive income, right? And this is why you want to be able to work and work really hard the years that you can, just to live the rest of your life the way you want to live it, right? And just think about what you can accomplish in your life, right? Everyone is put on this earth for something, okay? Like, no one is supposed to die overweight. No one is supposed to just earn a pension and have a few kids and leave nothing behind but debt, right? It's sorry to say, but these are the tough things that we have to start, coming to reality with. These are the things that we have to start learning are the basis of why our grandparents and our parents are just living to die, or working to die, right? And just thinking about, just thinking about growing up, this wasn't anyone's vision when they were coming up, right? So dive deeper instead of, dibbling and dabbling, right? Set big expectations and big boundaries for yourself and break them into small steps and goals. Like, for example, when I want to lose weight, that's a big expectation. That's a big goal. But I have to break this down into small steps and goals. So first, I would get my game plan, how much weight am I trying to lose? What am I trying to accomplish? Am I trying to just be healthy, or am I trying to just, lose a couple pounds before my vacation? Whatever you're trying to do, right? So just thinking about how to navigate and to break those small steps into, that big goal into small steps, right? Like I said, first thing I'm going to do is get my meal plan, my weight goals, and reflect on what needs to go and what needs to stay. Then I'm going to clean out my pantry and my fridge. I'm going shopping, right? Then the meal prep, and then finally the execution, that actually, putting in the work and saying, okay, I'm not going to eat this bag of chips, I'm going to eat this bag of grapes, right? So it comes, and then that's when the rinse and repeat method comes in, and you just watch the results flow in, right? And just thinking about when you're growing up, you just want to make sure that you're okay, right? You want to make sure that ends meet. But what would happen if you just, you know like, think about that bridge to freedom, right? That bridge to freedom is that, like, we think it's like planets away from us, right? A year ago, I couldn't imagine only working a few days a week and eating out lavishly every day. No more Mickey D's and BK. I'm, at Jose Muldoon's, great restaurant in Colorado Springs. Y'all gotta try it. But just, taking trips, taking classes at the Marriott right at 21, going on 22. I can't even think a few years ago. And when I thought about it, it was more of a daydream that, then it was more of a daydream than a plan that I had in place. I just had to start doing the work, right? And I just isolated myself. And isolation is, isolation is the key to elevation, right? Backing yourself into a corner and making every day count, right? Taking that time to reflect, relax, worry about what you need to accomplish in your life, right? So just like I said, think about what you want to accomplish in your life, right? Like I said, my drive and my motivation was bigger than my comfortability. Like, I was more focused on, okay, let me stay uncomfortable right now to get me to where I want to be, and I'm gonna be comfortable for the rest of my life, right? So just like I said, setting those big goals and breaking them down into small steps is the key to success, right? It's the key to elevation, and my mental had to change, right? Like I said, my drive and my motivation had to be bigger than my comfortability and my mental capacity for just change, right? I had to be driven from, I had to be driven for progress, not comfort, right? A lot of people say, I'm just working now so I don't have to work when I'm old. No, you're working now because you don't want to have to work next year. You don't want to have to work for somebody else. You want somebody to be able to work for you, and everybody wins. Everybody eats, right? So you just have to, break things down and always evaluate things, but don't think about it too much, right? Every time you put too much thought into something, you're taking away from the time that you could be executing, right? But then again, you always want to have a plan. You don't want to go into these big type of situations. Like, I'm not going to say, "Oh, I'm just going to lose weight," and then wake up every day and have no type of plan at all. That's a recipe for disaster. That's a recipe for comfortability, right? So like I said, I was driven for progress instead of comfort, right? I can be comfortable in my skin and say, okay, I'm not super fat. I don't have diabetes, I don't have heart problems, but I'm unhealthy. I don't work out, I don't have much energy. I can't go without certain foods in a day. I'm comfortable, but I have no drive for progress. That's an issue. So I just had to change it. I had to learn how to be disciplined. I had to learn how to say, okay, I'm okay with being, uncomfortable right now, to the point where I can get to where I need to be and be the person that I am supposed to be when I get to that point, right? Like if I want to be, the best basketball player and I have to go through this crazy transformation, right? I need that confirmation from myself, right? Nobody can give you self-confidence. Nobody can give you self-awareness. Nobody can give you that. You have to find that yourself, right? So I want to, like I said, I always want to break things down. I always want to make you think a little bit, make you use your brain a little bit, right? So I always tell people, like, there's three main reasons we become stagnant and comfortable and don't want to progress and change, right? And this all has to do with, your young years. This has to do with, we all know, like, when you're raising a child and when you're growing up, the oh shit, okay, I'm tripping. Okay. So, like I said, my bad. I thought my mic went off. Okay, we good. Okay, so there's three main reasons we become stagnant and comfortable as young adults. Like we're just chilling, right? We cool. We just cool. We don't have time to, like, why would, if I just went to work and got $1,000 on my check, why would I worry about, going to a class or worried about school? Why would I be worried about these type of things? I got a little bit of money in my pocket, but we all know it takes a day. Like you can spend $1,000 so quick. Like it's like the faster it comes, the faster it goes, right? So, like I said, there's three main reasons, and number one is like breaking down. Like we have no big goals, right? Like I said, if you get that $1,000, that was the goal. That you hit the goal. Now you don't want to break through the ceiling. No, you got to keep going. You got to keep going. Your only goal in life shouldn't be paying bills on time. Okay, like you shouldn't have goals for yourself and not your family, right? I hate when people say, like, I laid down so you could stand up. This is crazy. It's 2024 going on 2025. We are in an age of useful information, right? Putting in the effort, becoming a better version of yourself, and constantly growing is why we are here in this world. We are here to be fruitful, right? So that's the word that I use. Like when I always think about going big, thinking big, I use the word fruitful, right? We are here to be fruitful. We are fruitful human beings, right? We are fruitful beings. We are here to create. Being fruitful, creating things is the highest level of value, and along with being valuable, the highest level of value is creation, imagination, fruitfulness, creating things, right? Find your vision, right? you know find your Tesla, right? Elon Musk was not born with that information. He soaked it up and he used it. So be fruitful, right? You have to find your big moment, your big, product that nobody can deny, right? And you have to find the product that only you can deliver to the certain type of people that you want to deliver, because only you can affect the people that want to be affected by you. People might be listening to this podcast and probably left like 10 seconds ago just because they don't like how I sound or they don't like how I look, right? But there are a few people that, might listen to this podcast and be like, damn, that changed my life, right? I'm looking for, I learned, like, the more no's you get is going to build up to the yeses, right? I was watching a video yesterday. I think it was, I forgot who it was, or I would just tell you, but we were just watching this podcast, and, he said he was reading a book, and he said, you know, being fruitful and creating things, and entrepreneurship is like mining. It's like mining gold, right? Because you have to dig and go through so much dirt just to get to a few ounces of gold, right? That's like entrepreneurship. You're gonna go and get so many you're gonna go and get so many dirt ass no's. You're gonna get so much of that just to get to those few ounces of yes, right? And that's what you're doing it for, right? But you're not looking for the dirt. You're looking for the gold, right? You're not looking for the no's, but you're getting them. And you'd rather have, think about how much dirt I'm gonna have to dig to get to that gold, right? Think about how many no's you're gonna have to take just to get to that one yes, right? So think about that as like your gold mine. Think about, how much you're gonna have to dig, how much you're gonna have to, like I said earlier, dive deeper. Don't dibble and dabble. How far are you gonna have to dig to get to where you want to be, to get to where you can be fruitful and create? And like I said, create value, and don't create, things at low level. Create high level products, right? So number two, limited time. This is a big one for me. Limited time is a big one for me. I had to learn, like, we never have limited time. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, whether you're working a 10 or 12-hour shift, or you work and have kids, or any type of situation that you're in. You just have to learn how to work harder. And that's different for everybody, right? Some, like, I know me, I don't have kids, but I do work 10, 12-hour shifts when I do work. But guess what? I bought my time back, and I said, okay, instead of working 6 days, 7 days a week and working these small shifts, why don't I just work 3 days a week, get 3 big shifts, and I'm making my money. And then I still have time to, like I said, do my calls, do my podcast, do everything that I'm here to do, right? And that is create products, create value, right? Free value, things that people will pay for. And you create freedom, you create financial freedom for yourself, right? So limited time is never a biggie, right? Remember, work while you're young for timeless money. Don't spend your whole life working for money, right? Let your money work for you. Build something for yourself that creates that reoccurring automated income, right? Don't put your job before your goals, period. Everybody in America, everybody that is down bad right now, just trying to make ends meet, don't put your job before your goals, because your position is never solidified if when you're in this thing that we call corporate America. Your position is never going to be set in stone. Somebody can come and do the job better than you. Somebody might come and buy the company, and like I was talking about the last episode, my grandmother had been working for a hospital for so long. Somebody bought the company, and now everybody's out of a job. And that's what she was using to pay her bills. She got a house. She's the only one working. She's trying to get things in. She's trying to make those ends meet. But then she just lost her job, and Colorado rent is steep, right? So it's like, you don't have a job, you're not paying your rent, right? So but like I said, don't put your job before your goals. So like I said before, take out some Netflix and chill time. Eat a salad instead of grandma's spaghetti when you know you're gonna be going back for seconds, right? Keep your energy up, right? Put things into perspective. Put things into a system, right? Everything is about a proven system, right? So keep your energy up, surrounding yourself with like-minded people who want to help you utilize your time to brainstorm, stay focused with. That's the people you want to be around, right? Don't be around, your party friends. Don't be, when you're going through this transition, don't be around the party friends. Don't be around the Netflix and chill friends, right? Be around the friends that go to the gym. Be around the friends that, say, hey, you want a smoothie, or, what you need me to do? Like, can I help you progress, right? The word that I associate with this is priority. Prioritize yourself. The most successful people are the most selfish people, right? Then you bring it back, right? Your knowledge, you bring your knowledge back to your community, which is the only way we can grow and innovate as a community, as a species, as human beings. That is the only way we can grow and do better things than the people before us, and do what we were put here to do, right? So prioritize yourself so that you can prioritize other things, right? Like I said, you always want to service people. So to be able to service people, you have to be able to be the best version of yourself, right? So prioritize your time. Don't minimize your time, because you always have time, right? But here's the thing, you don't always have time. So like I said, prioritize your time. Don't minimize your time. Don't say, okay, I got 24 hours in a day, I'm gonna do this for an hour, I'm gonna do this for an hour. No. Prioritize what needs to, if like I'm working and I only have an hour, I'm not going to spend the whole time working. I'm going to spend that hour doing what I need. Like I once heard, if you have more than one goal in one day, you have too many goals. You have no goals. So if you prioritize too many things in one day, you have no priorities. So this all comes back down to having that big expectation, that big goal, and breaking it down into small goals, small, achievements, right? So number 3, Shift in mindset. It's all about shifting that mindset. That is why this is the Wealthy and Healthy podcast. You have to shift that mindset. Everything that we talk about is about shifting that mindset, because that's the biggest thing that you can do when you are trying to come up, when you're trying to create financial freedom, right? So mindset being everything. We as a community, we have to hold ourselves accountable. We have to hold our people accountable. We have to hold our family members accountable. Accountability in your financial situation, your marriage, your school life, everything around you has to be your fault, right? The things you can control are your fault. Your failures, your achievements, the things we can't control should never be a focus, right? Like, if I can't control it, why am I focused on it? I'm just going to get more out of character, more just mad, right? And I can't control it. So why am I getting mad about it, right? So get yourself in that position where you control everything, so you're responsible for everything, right? You know, meaning like you play your part to the fullest, right? That's what that means. As a quarterback, they do nothing other than throw the ball or hand it off. But there is no quarterback without the blockers, the fullbacks, everything like that, etc. So play your part. You're never gonna see Coach Prime suit up and go hit the field. He's past that in his life, right? He's the coach now. So your mindset has to be all about your team and about playing your part. Everything syncs together and becomes like when you move as one, everything just comes together and everything is everything, right? So, like I said, play your part, right? Think positive, think fruitful, right? The word for this section would be consistency. It's always what I think about when I'm shifting my mindset, is just stay focused on the goal, right? Stay focused on what needs to happen. So stay consistent, right? Your mindset has to do with consistency, your ability to move forward and put your best foot forth, right? So when you're trying to shift your mindset and you think like, I don't know if this is going to work, but you also know that what you're doing isn't working right now. That's why you always want to change, because either you're in a situation where you know you need to change and you know things have to, you know, either leave or stay, or you're in a position where you are the smartest in the room, or you have done what you came to do in this situation or this relationship or this exchange, right? And now you're moving on to bigger and better things. So you're either going to be in a position to where you're doing good and you want to do better, or you're going to be in a position where you know you need to do better to get to where you want to go, right? So it's always about the shift in mindset, right? It's always about putting that best foot in front. Consistent workers are progressive workers, right? When you're consistent, you make progress. When you continue to do something every single day, you make progress, right? But don't just slave and sweat and shed tears and blood just to let the money sit and chill in your bank account, right? Know your plan. Your mindset is what will push you forward every single time, right? Don't let your money, don't sweat and slave for that $1,000 every 2 weeks, and then you just send it to the people that you pay rent to, right? Or you just send it to the utility company. That's not making your money work for you. Let your money work for you. Don't work for your money, right? And when you do work for your money, make sure that you're doing something with your money, right? It's all about that shift in mindset. It's all about what you are willing to take accountability for, right? Um, so those were the 3 reasons why you become stagnant, comfortable, and you can't progress and change, because you have no goals, you have limited time, and you haven't shifted your mindset to get you where you want to be, right? So look back at this, look at these questions, make the right choice, always make the right choice, always do the right thing, Spike Lee, right? So stay stress free, right? That's going into like the limited time type of thing, right? And you having no big goals, right? Be fruitful, right? Think about what you need to do to stay free. Like, think about what you need to do to keep that stress at a minimal level, something that you can handle, right? So just, don't be comfortable in your progression, right? Don't be comfortable. Never sit in one place for too long, right? The longest place that I've ever spent is in my bed when I go to sleep. Right, I can never stay in one place for too long, because I always am thinking about consistently growing, being fruitful. Right, prioritizing what I need to prioritize to get me to where I want to go. Right, and that's, like I said, I'm speaking very broad because everything is different. You know what you need to do to get you where you need to be. Right, so like I said, oh, I just wanted to ask, like, just looking back on all the episodes, I just want everybody just to tell me, like, what's the best episode, just Just like give me some feedback. Like I said, look back at these questions, ask yourself, what you need to do, make yourself to make yourself the best version of yourself, right? And I once heard somebody like tell me like, when you move your feet, you lose your seat, right? But I look at that like, I left that seat because something to me is more important, right? I was too comfortable. This wasn't where I wanted to be anymore, right? And closed mouths don't get fed. But one thing I will say is a lion can't feed himself in the garden. He need meat, right? So surroundings are everything, right? Stay fruitful. Know and keep your priorities in order. And most importantly, when you take off those training wheels and you're pedaling or, you getting that momentum, you know, stay consistent, right? Even when you fall on your ass, just know that you still have somewhere to go, right? Know that you still have to get up, dust yourself off, and keep going, right? You know, so we just gonna keep it short and sweet, right? That's today's episode with the Wealthy and Healthy podcast. I got my visionary glasses on, right? Um, and like I said, stay fruitful. Like everybody, stay fruitful. Smile every day. Ask somebody how they doing every day. Service somebody every single day. And like I said, you got to be consistent, and then just watch the results roll in, right? Watch everything happen, and it's gonna happen in front of you, or it's going to happen and you're going to be behind. You're going to be behind the scenes and nothing's going to happen. Or, like I said, I see a lot of people do a lot of things behind the scenes, and they're doing the leg work, and then somebody else is the face of it. Like I said, this all comes back to playing your part, making sure that the team is a team, right? Cuz like the quarterback is going to throw the ball every single time, but he has that confidence in being able to throw the ball or being able to hand it off, knowing that there's a whole team behind him, right? So you have to be able to play your part, right? And if you the leader, you got to be the leader. If you someone who is trying to learn how to be a leader, you got to be under a leader, right? So just like I said, know where you're at in life, know where you want to go, know who you need to be around to get you where you need to go. Because if you're not useful, you're useless, right? So, like I said, this is this week's episode of the Wealthy and Healthy Podcast. I am KD Capri, the mentor, the mentee. Stay tuned. You could go get the book below. You can even hit me up on my link tree, and we can do a strategy call. I'm opening my Discord community soon, where we're just gonna be doing weekly calls, weekly networking slash like just empowerment calls, right? Every week we're gonna try and do that. Like I said, we got the new course coming up, and we just gonna keep giving that energy, giving that value, right? Everything that a young entrepreneur needs to navigate through this life of business ownership, of just like I said, growing and being the best person you can be, you're the best fruitful self, right? The best consistent self, right? Keeping that mindset, to only spread positivity and spread growth, right? Like I said, whenever you get that knowledge, you got to bring it back, because that's the only way we innovate. That's the only way we grow as a community, right? So, stay tuned. We're going to be back with another episode, and I'm going to see y'all when I see ya. Bye. How the fuck do I stop the recording?